Am I the asshole for asking my neighbors to tone down their Halloween lights? I recently moved into a new neighborhood and this is our first Halloween here. We learned just yesterday that my neighbors across the street go all out for the holiday. It isn't just a lot of decorations, but a lot of flashing and strobing lights. It's all over their roof, lawn, porch, just about every inch of their house. It gets a lot of people to come by and look, but this isn't the issue. The issue is that my daughter, 6 female, has epilepsy. I went over and asked last night if they could maybe run the lights for only an hour or two or replace some of the strobing lights with regular ones. I even offered to pay for the replacements. I explained that I'm worried if my daughter looks out her window or goes outside, it might trigger her epilepsy. My old neighborhood was great, and while they celebrated Halloween, they never went this wild. I'm worried my daughter won't be able to go trick-or-treating in our new block. My neighbor and his wife, late 20s, got mad and asked how could I have the audacity to ask. They called me a Karen. When I said I was just worried about my daughter, they told me to mind my business and just shut my blinds and close my curtains. They slammed the door in my face before I could argue further. Flash forward to today, I was talking to my coworker about it and she said I was an asshole and am a Karen for asking. She said that they're right, it's none of my business, and the world doesn't revolve around my daughter, so I shouldn't expect them to change their Halloween decorations and traditions just because my daughter might or might not be triggered by it. But I don't know. I'm just worried about my daughter's epilepsy possibly being triggered. Reddit, am I the asshole?
Oh, that's tough.
It's tough.
How could you be the asshole? You're trying to protect your family. So
no, I don't think you're an asshole.
I don't think you're the asshole. And honestly, like as cool as the neighbors that put all the decorations and they make their house a light show, at the end of the day, you like as cool as it is, and some people might enjoy it. You got to understand that you are in. It's just like the sound. You are in a residential neighborhood. You are not Disney World. You are not an amusement park. You're not a store like that. You're trying to bring customers in or whatever. So, like, if these flashing lights are a disturbance, epilepsy or not, maybe I'm just trying to sleep. Like, maybe I work a night shift and I go to sleep during the day. Like, yeah, you do have blinds and stuff, but
I think that could be resolved with blinds. But to OP's point, though, like, it can literally cause harm to their daughter.
Exactly. So I think you as OP, like, you should just call the authorities and see what can be done and, like, ask the questions and make sure, go over the city ordinance. Like, you are in a residential neighborhood. You need to respect your neighbors. If you want to do this for you, if you're like, hey, listen, the light show, I don't care about anybody looking at it. It's for me. When I come home, I want my house to be lit up. Well, if you had a house in the middle of the woods where no neighbor saw it, would you still be putting all that effort in it? Like, you're doing it for attention. No offense. Like, everybody does it for attention, and that's fine. That's cool. But, like, we have a serious issue here with, like, a child having epilepsy. Maybe she's not the only one in the neighborhood. So, I don't know. I would say that, like, as cool as they are, and I don't want to, like, you know, down anybody's, like, Halloween stuff, but, like, you got to be within the legal rights. Like, if he goes through and he calls the police and he's like, listen, this is a disturbance. It's light pollution. Like, that, like, what does the city have against that or anything?
I feel like strobe lights are very specific because there are triggers for stuff. Like, if you go to watch a movie or something that has strobe lights, you get a trigger for it because that actually, like, can cause seizures.
And I would ask the question too, is like, what if do people with epilepsy drive?
I think
it depends. Are they supposed to avoid driving? Maybe
I think it depends on how the severity of it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you are severe, maybe you're not able to get your driver's license, because, like, I was just thinking, like, what if someone's driving their car past it? But I guess flashing lights would probably be, if you have epilepsy, like, maybe you don't get your driver's license. Like, that's like a medical restriction.
Yeah, maybe.
But I'm just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, if you have full rights to complain to the city and see what protections are in place for you. And I think as a neighbor, like, you have full rights to do whatever decorations that you want within that boundary. And I don't think that somebody asking is the worst thing.
I agree. Top comment says, you're not an asshole for asking, and they aren't an asshole for refusing. No assholes here. While it sucks for you, certainly, to realize your neighbors won't be accommodating your special needs, it's an important lesson that you can only ever control yourself.
And I guess that comes back to, like, you need to move. You recently moved into this neighborhood. You found out you have a neighbor that likes to do this. This isn't the neighborhood for you, and maybe you should move out. You move into a neighborhood where all of your neighbors don't decorate for Halloween. You move in Toronto and you move down that one street that has all of the Santa Clauses, and you realize that you don't like the giant Santa Claus blow-ups. That's not the street for you to move on.
Yeah.
Or you move on to a street that nobody puts the blow-up Santas on there. Man, you want everybody in your neighborhood to put blow-up Santas? Maybe you should go find the neighborhood that does that. You know, it's the same thing with like gated communities on a golf course. Like, you have the free will and the ability to move into the neighborhood that suits your needs. And maybe this, unfortunately, like, this isn't that neighborhood.
But I would recommend, going through the bylaws or just contacting someone who can like provide clarity on the situation, because I would be curious to know if it does pass any laws that are in place, because
like
I think strobe lights are different.
And like, what's that movie, with the Christmas one, the one that we watch like every year with the neighbor buddy, and he puts all the Christmas lights you want to see from space.
Yeah.
Like that one.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to think that much lights. Like, if you're that much lights and you're the neighbor and you can't sleep and you're putting the blinds and it's still coming through, you're allowed to call the police and make a complaint. And I would think that that's not legal. Like,
I would think there's a restriction on that.
There's
too.
got to be a restriction. There ain't no way they got an HOA in this area if they're getting away with it. But actually, someone does comment and says, can't outdoor strobe lights cause a car accident? And if someone with epilepsy drives by, should all kids prone to seizures stay inside unless they have a parent scout ahead to make sure they only pass houses without strobe lights? This isn't like Halloween candy with peanuts where people can choose not to take any. Outdoor strobe lights could affect anyone who wanders by. I feel like neighbors are more the asshole here. Most people don't put strobe lights all over their outdoors. I'm not sure if it's specifically to avoid triggering seizures, but it probably plays a part. I wonder if neighbors have some potential liability here.
That's a good point.
And someone replies and says, I'm pretty sure people with photosensitive epilepsy can't drive. There's a lot of flashing lights that drivers encounter, like emergency and work vehicles, or intermittent lights/shadows when driving past certain things like trees. It's really risky for them to be on the road at all. Crazy holiday lights aren't going to really raise the already high risk. And that's kind of what we said.
Yeah.
Oh, someone else says, I have a friend with epilepsy. We're in the UK and she can't drive unless she's gone 2 years without having a seizure. She's not triggered by flashing lights much at all, but has a range of other triggers, including plain old being tired. She's disappointed as it's inconvenient, but obviously it's not safe for her or other people.
Yeah.
Damn, makes sense.
That's crazy.
Whew, okay.
All right.
Poor kid.
Yeah.
All right.
Sad.
Over to me.